Every evening around 6 o'clock, the same small ritual played out in Daniel Reyes's kitchen. He would stand at the stove, staring down at whatever he'd attempted to cook, and within a few minutes, the smoke detector above the doorway would begin its shrill, familiar complaint. That evening was no different. Daniel yanked the pan from the oven, waving it toward the open window, muttering apologies to no one in particular while his daughter, Lily, sat at the table with her chin propped on her hands, watching the scene with the calm patience of a 7-year-old who had simply stopped being surprised. "Is it the salmon again?" she asked. "It was supposed to be salmon," Daniel admitted, peering at the blackened, unrecognizable shape on the pan. "I'm not entirely sure what it is now." Since his wife passed 3 years earlier, dinner had become the one part of the day Daniel never quite mastered. He could manage bedtime stories, homework help, even the complicated tangle of Lily's hair on school mornings. But cooking eluded him completely, no matter how many recipes he printed out or how carefully he followed the instructions. He was reaching for the box of cereal, the evening's inevitable backup plan, when a knock sounded at the door. Standing on the porch was a woman he didn't recognize, holding a covered dish with both hands, a faint, apologetic smile on her face. "I hope this isn't strange," she said. "I'm Vivian. I just moved into the house on the corner. I made too much dinner, and I could smell something burning through my kitchen window, so I thought maybe I'd bring some over instead of letting it go to waste." Daniel laughed, half from embarrassment, half from genuine relief. "That obvious, huh?" "A little," Vivian admitted, smiling. She held out the dish. Chicken pot pie, the crust golden and flaky, steam curling gently from a small vent cut into the top. "You really didn't have to do this," Daniel said, taking it carefully. "I wanted to," Vivian said simply. "Cooking for one gets lonely. It's nice to have somewhere for the extra to go." Lily appeared beside her father, peering curiously up at their unexpected guest. "Are you staying for dinner?" Vivian glanced at Daniel, uncertain. "Oh, I didn't mean to invite myself." "Please stay," Lily said immediately, tugging gently at Vivian's sleeve. "Daddy's cooking is really bad." "Lily," Daniel said, laughing despite himself, "you're not wrong, but you don't have to announce it to the whole neighborhood." Vivian laughed warmly and agreed to stay, and the three of them sat together at the small kitchen table, sharing the pot pie while the last light of evening faded outside the window. Over dinner, Vivian explained that she had recently relocated after a long stretch of city living, drawn by the quiet, tree-lined streets and the promise of something slower, something simpler than the pace she'd grown used to. "I used to work constantly," she admitted. "Long hours, very little time for anything outside of it. Cooking became one of the few things that helped me slow down, even when there was no one to share it with." "Well, now there's us," Lily said matter-of-factly, already reaching for a second helping. Daniel smiled at his daughter's easy confidence, something he hadn't seen in her quite so freely in a while. "She's right," he said. "You're welcome here anytime, especially if it means avoiding another kitchen disaster." Vivian smiled. "I might take you up on that." Over the following weeks, the pot pie visits became a quiet, comfortable habit. Vivian brought dinner over several evenings a week, and in exchange, Daniel found small ways to return the kindness, helping fix a stuck window, carrying heavy furniture up her porch steps, keeping her company during the quiet hours after a long day. Lily, delighted by the arrangement, began asking Vivian to teach her simple recipes, standing on a small step stool beside the counter, flour dusted across her hands and the tip of her nose. "Someday," Lily announced one evening, stirring a bowl with fierce concentration, "I'm going to cook dinner for Daddy, so he doesn't have to worry about burning things anymore." "I think that sounds like a wonderful plan," Vivian said, smiling as she guided Lily's small hands gently along the edge of the bowl. Daniel watched them from across the kitchen, something warm and unfamiliar settling quietly in his chest. It had been a long time since the house felt this full, this alive, since laughter filled the kitchen instead of just the anxious beeping of a smoke detector. One evening, after Lily had gone up to bed, Daniel and Vivian sat together on the porch steps, the night air cool and quiet around them. "Thank you," Daniel said softly, "for all of this. I don't think I realized how much we needed a little more warmth in this house until you started showing up with it." Vivian looked at him for a long moment. "I think I needed somewhere to belong again, more than I realized," she admitted. "This neighborhood, this house, it's given me that. You and Lily gave me that." They sat quietly together for a while, comfortable in the easy silence, until Daniel finally spoke again, a small, teasing smile on his face. "For the record, I haven't burned dinner in almost 2 weeks. Progress, Vivian said, laughing softly. I owe it all to your pot pie recipe, Daniel admitted. Turns out watching someone who actually knows what they're doing helps. Anytime, Vivian said warmly, and Daniel found himself hoping, quietly, that she meant it. Later that night, tucking Lily into bed, Daniel smoothed the blankets around her shoulders as she yawned sleepily. I like it when Miss Vivian comes over, Lily murmured. The house smells happy again. Daniel smiled, brushing a strand of hair gently from her forehead. Yeah, sweetheart, he whispered. I like it too. As he turned off the light and made his way quietly downstairs, Daniel realized that somewhere between the burnt dinners and the quiet knock at his door, something in his life had gently, unexpectedly, begun to heal, one shared meal at a time.